Hey roamers, welcome back to the channel. We recently finished a 6-month stay in Cottonwood, Arizona at Stoney Brook Estates Mobile Home and RV Park. And we wanted to give you a review of that.
I think estates is funny.
Yeah. But that's what they call it. It's located at 29 Main Street in Cottonwood, Arizona. And the owner is a guy named Tony. And we're just going to give you the pros and cons and let you take it from there. Now, if they claimed to be a resort, this would be a very, very short review because it would be 1 star. Do not recommend. But they do not claim to be a resort. They are essentially a long-term stay park.
It used to be a trailer park. The whole thing was with mobile homes.
Right.
And then they converted it over to an RV park. There are still some, I guess you call them manufactured homes,
Right,
tiny homes.
Yeah, and those are rented. I think there are 6 of them throughout the entire park. This is not a big park. Okay. The amenities, we had a laundry room with 6 washers and 6 dryers.
And there were showers.
There were showers and a bathhouse.
And we got mail there.
Yes.
So there were mailboxes.
Yeah, there was a big bank of USPS mailboxes. And we were able to get our mail there.
And any other packages we got came to our door. Just like if you had a house or an apartment, UPS, FedEx, any of those brought things straight to our door.
Yeah, it was 29 Main Street, in our case, lot 18. So it was an actual address, which is pretty indicative of a long-term stay type place. Now, if you're looking for someplace that you're going to have a pool and you're going to have, a rec room and
playground for kids.
Yeah, this is not the place for you. Okay, this is kind of focused on people like us. People that are coming into the area to work on a contract basis or for longer. Mm-hmm. And they live in their RV. Mm-hmm. Cindy had taken a contract at Verde Valley Medical Center, which was literally 5 minutes away from there.
Loved it. Loved the commute.
Oh, yeah. And we were there for 6 months for our contract. Most of the other people in there were in the same type of situation, either utility workers,
construction.
Yeah, construction, that type of thing. There was a nice grassy area to walk your dog. They called it a dog park. It's not fenced in.
Yeah.
So you really couldn't take your dog off leash.
Had a couple of picnic tables there too, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah, this was kind of a no-frills park.
We did have a concrete pad.
Yes.
I think all of the sites had concrete pads.
And the site was level.
Oh yeah, it was very nice.
No, to that point, no. Most of the sites didn't have concrete pads.
Oh, okay.
But there were a few, and I think that the ones that had concrete pads, there used to be mobile homes there. Mm-hmm. Until it was changed over to an RV park.
Yeah.
So the upsides, one thing I have to say is the owner of that RV park, Tony.
Super nice.
Super nice. Probably the nicest park manager owner we've ever encountered in all 5 years on the road.
Yeah, he's very nice, very responsive. Anytime you texted him about something, he got right back with us.
Absolutely. And we had a constant channel to him.
Yeah.
Through text or a phone call. They had dumpsters in the back
For trash, yeah.
for trash. They were all full hookup sites.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're really not looking at much in the way of amenities. The other big upside of that was its proximity to everything.
It was right in. It wasn't in the middle of town because that would probably be Old Town, but
Yeah.
it was. We could get to anything within 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. We used to joke. I mean, oh, do you really want to go to that restaurant again? It's a mile away. Seriously, there was nothing that was more than a mile and a half.
Yeah.
2 miles that we needed that we couldn't get to. Cottonwood has a couple of pretty large supermarkets and a really nice Walmart.
Super Walmart.
A super Walmart. Yeah, an actual.
And it was huge.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was one of the real big super Walmarts. I mean, that was a big upside of Stony Brook.
One thing that I really liked about it was we were 20 minutes from Sedona.
Yeah.
And probably the most beautiful place we've been is Sedona. And
Other than the Grand Canyon.
oh, yeah. Well, yeah. But it was 20 minutes from Sedona, which is great because Cottonwood's a small town, but it has a lot of stuff in it. But Sedona is very, very touristy.
Yeah.
And lots of traffic. And I would not want to live in Sedona because of the traffic and also the cost. It is exorbitant what they charge for things in Sedona. But it's a beautiful place to go, lots of places to hike, lots of things to do, lots of things to see. And so being just 20 minutes away, there's 2 state parks there.
Yeah.
And so we went to both of those and we got to see a lot of things in Sedona, and it wasn't even what I call a day trip. It was just there and back because it was only 20 minutes.
I mean, it was not unheard of for us to just, you want to go to lunch and drive down to Sedona and go to lunch.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of the times that Cindy was off for a few days in a row, we went there for a little vacation. So yeah, its proximity to Sedona is incredible.
Yeah.
Now the cons. And the first con that I want to call out is the entrance.
Oh, yeah.
It is a driveway directly off of
Main Street.
Main Street. That in itself is not a problem. However, when you come into that driveway, you immediately go into a pretty steep incline. And if you have a trailer that's anything more than 15, 20 feet, you're going to bottom out. Your bumper is going to drag.
You go across when you turn in, you go across the sidewalk, and on the other side of the sidewalk, it goes down.
Yeah.
But there is a back entrance.
Which the only problem that creates is if you're coming into one of the sites on the side we were on, you're not going to be able to back into the site with any kind of room. Specifically, and again, this is kind of a little focused on our specific case.
Yeah.
We were right two spots down from the entrance. So if I came in from that side facing the entrance, I didn't have room enough to go forward to put myself in position to back into the site.
Yeah, it was quite the ordeal.
Right. Which led to our situation that we talked about in our trip from hell, where I got stuck. I realized that I didn't have enough room to back into the site, so I decided to go out, which my bike rack bottomed out on the way out, and I had to stop, back up, take the bike rack off, then go, and my bumper still dragged.
Yeah.
A little bit. But yeah, I went back out and decided to find a place to turn around, and that's when I got all messed up. But so I turned around, I came back, and I came in that entrance, and I had to go up a ways, so you're not And anybody who backs in regularly knows that it's preferred that you're doing it from the driver's side. I ended up having to do it from the passenger side. Not that huge of a problem for somebody who's experienced in backing in.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're going to have a problem.
Also, there was a tree, which is a pro and a con, because backing into the site, we had to watch out for the tree. But once we were there, we had lots of shade.
Yeah,
So
that was. I would actually say that was more of a pro than a con because we were there in summer.
Yeah.
The other problem with backing in and the size of the park is that the road itself that goes down the middle of the park, not very wide.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of the landscaping, they have these big red rocks, boulders, in front of most of the sites.
Mm-hmm. By the mailboxes.
So, yeah. And
not mailboxes, the
by the power poles. And that kind of decreases the amount of space you have even more. So, yeah, you can get a big rig in there, but you're not going to do it easily. So there's that as a con. The other con is, again, something personal to me, probably even more than Cindy. And that is, I am very obsessed with parks that have rules and stick to them, which is why we love Cactus Country so much.
No worries with her making sure the rules are followed.
Oh, no.
None.
Alyn is always going to make sure. But without a manager on site in the park, which we did not have, the rules kind of got broken. And one of the big rules was people not cleaning up after their dogs. And really, honestly, Tony had no way of enforcing that because he didn't have anybody on site to catch the person doing it.
Yeah.
So.
And most of the time, it was very obvious it wasn't Bucky because it was too big.
Yeah, most of those droppings were bigger than he was. The other issue I had was the dumpster situation.
Yeah.
The dumpsters, when we got there was one dumpster back there. And that was fine. Apparently, Tony canceled his contract with the company, Waste Management, that had that dumpster there. And brought in a different company. So we had a second dumpster. We were supposed to stop using the original dumpster and use that dumpster. Very few people in the park actually stopped using the other dumpster.
And apparently that company didn't come and pick up that dumpster when he...
Right. That was just before Labor Day. So the first weekend in September. And when we left there, the first weekend in November, that dumpster was still there and overflowing. Now...
So it wasn't getting emptied, and it also wasn't getting taken away.
Exactly. And for some god-awful reason or another, nobody could seem to quite figure out, we're not going to put garbage on top of this already overflowing dumpster. Let's use this empty one over here instead. Nobody seemed to figure that out.
Yeah.
To the point where I actually put a sign on the two dumpsters saying, don't use this one, use this one. And there was still somebody was dropping garbage in front of the other dumpster. But that, again, that's really not on Tony.
Yeah.
Because he told me that he was calling Waste Management twice a week to try and get them to come get this dumpster, and they just weren't doing it. Now, I've only heard one side of the story. Who knows? But as far as cons, I would say that's probably it.
The only other thing is we were on Main Street, and during the night, it wasn't that bad. During the day, it was one of the main streets where all the traffic was. And I didn't experience this as much as Felix did, but they have a bike week. Well, it's a weekend.
A motorcycle rally. Yeah.
One weekend a year, and he said it was pretty loud.
Oh, there were in a period of 5 minutes, you could have 2 or 3 dozen, and that's not an exaggeration, motorcycles going down Main Street, which was literally 50 feet from our front door.
Yeah, there was one site between us and the highway.
And but I mean, and other times during the day, it would get noisy. There was a lot of loud cars, a lot of trucks. I mean, it is literally the main street of Cottonwood. At nighttime, though, it was generally okay.
And in Sedona and Cottonwood, they're both, what are they called? Low light communities,
Or dark cities, something like that. Yeah,
where they encourage businesses and people not to have bright lights out because they want people to be able to see the sky, to see the night sky. So things did die down pretty much when the sun went down, unless there was some festival or bike rally or something going on.
Yeah, quite honestly, even with the bike rally, it didn't really affect us after dark.
I was surprised because I thought that was going to be a problem that weekend. But
yeah. Also considering the fact that a place called Main Stage, which is right on the corner from where we were, was hosting part of the festivities for that. The night that they hosted that, during the day, it was loud. There was a lot going on. And by the time the sun went down and it got dark, maybe a low rumble, but really outside of that, it was nothing bad.
Another thing we can say about Cottonwood is the people are extremely nice. And Felix is sometimes not a fan of people, but he started liking people too, because these people are really nice. I mean, even in traffic, they let you go out. They're very kind in the grocery stores. And I mean, you go different places in the country, you see different types of personalities and kind of a vibe you get from certain areas. And this is a very, very nice town.
And I mean, I've said it before, the people in Las Cruces, really nice. People here in Tucson, really nice. There was, and this is not even a joke, there was a marked difference between the people here in Las Cruces and in Cottonwood. They were just overly nice. And it wasn't, you didn't get the feeling of it, they were being fake. It was just that that's the way they are. Maybe they just really love the way they live and where they live.
Yeah. A lot of the population is older people. A lot of people retire there. It's close to Sedona, but it's not as expensive as Sedona. And it's does seem to be predominantly older people. But they're plenty. I mean, there's a big elementary school there. There's plenty of families and stuff there too. But the people weren't rude. People were nice. They, you get out in a community, you can really see, how people really act.
Yeah, and she was dealing with the public there
at the hospital.
Yeah,
everybody I worked with was great, and I'd say probably 99% of the patients were really nice. You've always got your ones that aren't so pleasant, but and your families that aren't so pleasant. But as a general rule, everybody was very nice, very thankful, very grateful for the way they were treated at the hospital.
Very demure.
Very mindful.
Hey, we have to hook into the trend at some point. But that's basically our review. Overall, I think we would give the place 3.
3.5.
3.5 travel trailers. Thanks for watching, and until next week, safe travels.